be ranking the FC25 defenders in a tier list and finding the meta centre-backs for you guys to use at the start of FC25. Also, can you guess who this centre-back is on the screen right now? If you can get it right, let me know in the comments below. And also, let me know the player you're most likely looking forward to using in FC25 alongside your answer. Anyways, let's get into this tier list and let's see the best defenders for FC25. Onto the tier list, as you can see, we've got it here in front of us. We've got 4 sections. So we've got the meta section, which are going to be the top dog centre-backs. These are going to be really expensive ones, but they will obviously be the best in the centre-back role. Then we've got top tier centre-backs. These are going to be still fairly expensive, but will also be ridiculously good, but not as much as these top tier centre-backs, at least in my opinion, in my prediction. Then we've got cheap beasts. These are going to be defenders that are no more than 100,000 coins. I think they should be cheaper, around about 50k and below, most of them. Some of them might be a little bit more than that, but they're still going to be very, very good, with most of them hopefully being max of 10,000 coins. And then overrated is basically some of the centre-backs that are higher rated that I'd avoid if I was you. Don't just pick them or use them just because they're high rated. So let's get into the tier list and let's get to player number 1. So centre-back number 1 we're going to go with is Mr. Pavard, an 84 rating this year. As you can see, 75 pace, 86 defending and 81 physical. Actually a very solid card. Also with a playstyle of Jockey Plus. Also though, however, some of these playstyles might change. So some of these players might gain playstyles, some of them might change, and some of them might lose some. So just keep that in mind. However, Pavard first centre-back, for me, he's going to go to the cheap beast options. I don't think he's going to be top tier. I mean, maybe if you had a bit more pace, you put him in there. But obviously also, he is in the Serie A and it's French. So you can get good links with him. But for me personally, I don't think he's going to be in that top tier section. Definitely not in the meta, but I think for a cheap beast, I think you're looking maybe at like 25 to 30,000 coins tops within the first couple of weeks, and could be a very good centre-backs option actually in people's teams. Next on the list, we've got Mr. Eder Militao, 85 rating, so actually a -1 downgrade. Also no playstyle plus. He didn't actually have one last year, but this is a hard one for me because he's always really, really good at the start of the game. Obviously, you get the Real Madrid links as well, the likes of Mendy, and I mean, all the Madrid players, Bellingham, and Mbappe now this year as well. But for me, Militao, does he go top tier or meta? For me, I always love Militao at the start of most of the games. I think he's always really, really good. So I think for me, this is definitely a debate. I want to know what you guys think in the comments. But for me, I'm actually going to put him in meta. Our first player in the meta section. I think he should be up there because he's usually really, really good at the start of the game. I mean, 85 pace, 85 defending, and 82 physical is very solid stats for a centre-back. And like I said, the links you get with him as well make him even more meta to get into your teams. Next on the list, we've got another Brazilian centre-back, this time in Bremer. 86 rating this year with an upgrade, I believe. I can't actually fully remember. I probably should have checked that. But Bremer, 86 rating, 82 pace, 86 defending, and 85 physical. Now, I actually didn't plan on putting him in the meta section really, but I feel like I'm a little bit hypocritical putting Militao in there and not Bremer, because Bremer's looking absolutely ridiculous. So for me, I think we've got to put him in to the meta section. I mean, just look at the card. He is looking absolutely ridiculous. Once again, Serie A links as well. Not bad at all. And he also gets Brazilian links. I mean, Militao and Bremer as an actual defensive partnership at the start of the game could be absolutely insane. So yeah, I think if I'm going to put Militao in there, Bremer has to go in there as well. And he is looking absolutely incredible. Next up, we've got Nathan Ake. Not a bad looking card once again. 76 pace, very solid pace. 84 defending, 77 physical. For me, he's going to go in the cheap beast section. I think he'll probably be around about 50, between the 50,000 coin mark, maybe a little bit less. But yeah, I don't think he's going to be really top tier, and definitely not meta once again like Pavard. But for me, Ake is going to be very good. Obviously, you get the Man City Premier League links, also Dutch links. There's a lot of good Dutch players as well, and I believe he can probably play at fullback as well, but obviously we're only looking at centre backs here. For me, very good card, very solid, cheap beast, definitely deserves to be in there. Could push into top tier, but I don't think compared to some of the other cards that we're going to see in the top tier, he's on that same level. Next up, we've actually got Bastoni. This guy's gone up to 87 this year, and also with Intercept Plus, which is a very good play style actually for a centre back. You want either Intercept Plus probably or Anticipate. Anticipate probably being the best one, but for me, Bastoni is actually probably in top tier. That's what I would go with. I think just because he's lacking a little bit on the pace side, maybe if his pace was a bit more, but I mean 87 defending and 83 physical is very solid. He's actually got good passing as well for a centre back and decent dribbling, but for me, just if he had a bit more pace and maybe Anticipate instead of Intercept, I'd probably put him into the meta section. But for me, I think he sits perfectly in top tier. He's going to be very, very good. He's going to be top tier centre backs, but not that meta level, at least in my opinion. But I mean, also the links are very good. Italian, Serie A, you can't go wrong. Next up, we have got Ruben Diaz, and for me, he's going to be the first player in overrated. 88 rating, but 67 pace. Very good defending and physical, don't get me wrong. But for me, I feel like people at the start of the game might pack him. You might pack him yourself and chuck him into your team because you see, oh, high-rated centre-back. Also, he did get a downgrade as well. But you see a high-rated centre-back, you think, put him into the team. But for me, some of these cheap beasts are going to be better than him in-game. So for me, he's high-rated, but he's overrated in terms of actual in-game playing. So for me, I put him in the first player in the overrated section. Next on our list then is Gvardiol, another very good-looking centre-back for this game. For me, it's between cheap beast and top tier. I actually don't know where to go. I think he could be top tier personally, because obviously it says left back but can play centre back in game, but I think because of that additional pace he might go into that top tier section. But also, I don't think he's going to cost that many coins. Like, it's a stupid amount of coins. So it's a hard one, but actually, I think I'm going to go with top tier. That's just because due to the fact that he's a left-footed centre-back as well. There's not loads of left-footed centre-backs in the game. It's nice to have that left foot, right foot balance, and he's one of the best left-footed centre-backs currently at the start of the game. So for me, Gvardiol actually maybe just pushes into top tier instead of like Pavard and Ake because of that additional pace, and obviously good links once again. Next up, we have Inacio. This guy is 100% in that cheap beast section. I mean, look at him, 80 pace, 81 defending, it's a little bit low, and 79 physical, but at the start of the game, rapid pace, Portuguese, Liga NOS, there's some good Liga NOS cards this year, including like Enquiries, etc. There's people like that in that league that you can get him links to. He's looking like a really good cheap beast option. He's definitely not going to be like a 50k, I don't think. He'll probably be like 20k or below, maybe even like 10k or below, but that is going to be a very good starting centre-back. So if you guys are looking for a good starting centre-back, Inacio is definitely an option for you. Next up, we have Mr. Akanji. So Akanji, again, you could go top tier because, once again, very, very good pace. Or does he go in cheap beast? I think if I've put Gvardiol in top tier, maybe I've got to put Akanji in there as well. But then you've also could debate Ake. But because he's got both above 80 physical and defending on his card, and also very good pace, I think I'm going to put Akanji in top tier. I mean, he's looking like a ridiculous card. Once again, Man City links, Premier League links, Swiss links, obviously not as easy, but he is very good. He's not really a left-footed centre-back. He's not a left-footed centre-back, so it doesn't like, I don't put him in there because of his foot, or like the foot, his predominant foot, that's what I'm trying to say. But also, still very good. I think he's going to be up there. I don't think he'll be above, once again, like 100k, but I think he's going to be a top-tier centre-back, especially at the start of the game. Next up, we have a new addition into the Premier League. We have Lacroix. I mean, he's recently moved to Crystal Palace, which definitely makes him more valuable, in my opinion. Obviously, Bundesliga is still very good, but Premier League pacey centre-backs are always very good. They're very good. They're always quite expensive at the start of the game, especially French as well. And Lacroix, I think, won't be stupidly expensive because of his rating. However, look at that, 88 pace centre-back. He's got to go in cheap beast. 88 pace, defending and physical definitely would need improving. You could put a chemistry style on for that, but 76 rating with that 88 pace, he is going to be an elite centre-back for me at the start of the game. I think a lot of people are going to get him in their team, especially with, like I said, the Premier League links, the amount of people that use a Premier League as their starter teams. Lacroix is going to feature, I think, so many times, and is definitely going to work out as a cheap beast for people's teams. Next up, we have Jules Kounde. So he actually defaults as a right back this year, but obviously can play centre back. For me, he goes straight up to meta. He is going to be one of the top tier centre backs again this year. He was last year. He was quite expensive, I believe, at the start of last game. I also think, did he get a downgrade as well? Was he walkout? Was he 85? I've kind of forgot. Actually, I think he was 85, but 84 pace, 86 defending, 80 physical. He's going to be one of the most meta centre-backs. France, Barcelona as well. You got to look at when it comes to meta, obviously, the card has got to be good. And then if they've got really good links as well, it's going to make that card even more meta. So yeah, Jules Kounde will be very good. Actually, might be a good viable right-back option, depending on how the meta actually plays gameplay meta. If there's a lot of crossing, he could be a very good option for right back as well. But in terms of the centre back list, I definitely still put him up there as a meta centre back. Next up, we've got Renard, and she is once again going to go into that overrated section. I mean, don't get me wrong, her Team of the Year card last year was insane. Her Team of the Season card, her Footies card, but her base card, don't be fooled. I mean, it's got Anticipate Plus, which is very nice. Obviously high rated, but 48 pace. Avoid. Once again, it might be a card you might pack. You might get a high rated centre back. You might be thinking, oh my god, look at the rating, put her in the team. Avoid, in my personal opinion. 48 pace. It's not going to do you any good at the start of the game, in my opinion. Next up, we have got Marquinhos. So once again, I could actually put him in top tier or meta, but I guess from what I've been going off today, I think I've got to go in the meta. He's got the intercept plus as well, which I said is probably the top two in the top two play styles for a centre-back. 79 pace, 89 defending, 81 physical is very good. I mean, the PSG links are kind of deteriorating the more years we go on. I mean, obviously they lost Neymar, they've lost Messi, they've lost Mbappe, so it's not as appeasing to use PSG like players and teams, even Ligue 1 players sometimes. But I mean, if you get a Marquinhos on the hold of him, I mean, he's looking really good still. His stats are looking absolutely insane. Like I said, with the intercept plus as well, very good. I don't mind it. I think he's looking good. You could put him in top tier. You could put him in top tier, but for me, going off what I've already gone through so far, and being Brazilian, once again, another good Brazilian centre-back link you can get with Militao and Bremer, he's probably got to go into meta. He's going to be very good at the start of the game. Next up, this guy might be actually the best centre-back at the start of the game, alongside another Premier League centre-back. But, I mean, just look at this Saliba card. He's absolutely ridiculous. He's got Anticipate Plus as well. I don't even need to talk too much about this card. Just look at it. 87 rating, 82 pace, 87 defending, sorry, 83 physical, Anticipate Plus. Literally in the top two centre-backs, like I said, alongside another Premier League centre-back that we'll see soon. Saliba is looking ridiculous. I don't need to talk any more about him. He is 100% going to be a meta centre-back in FC 25. Next on the list, we have one that we could once again put in maybe Cheap Beast. I don't actually think he can fit in Cheap Beast. It's going to be Konate. Konate's got to go in top tier for me. He is not the quickest centre-back, but also, I mean, 83 defending, 84 physical. His actual in-game, like his actual stature, is that the right word? I don't know if that's the right word. His actual build in-game is what I meant to say, is really solid as well for a centre-back. He's going to be top tier. I think he's going to cost a fair bit as well. Obviously, France, Liverpool, Premier League. That will put his price up, but he should be an absolute brick wall at the start of this game. He was last year. He's had an upgrade. He's even better. He's going to be solid and top tier for you to use as a centre-back if you need him. To the next player, Klostermann, obviously into that cheap beast. 82 pace. We love a pacey, cheap centre-back. 82 pace, 81 defending, 76 physical. Very, very solid. Always a cheap beast for you guys to use at the start of any ultimate team. He's always up there. Obviously, Germany, Bundesliga is beautiful for chemistry. It's perfect for chemistry. You don't really need to look at his team. You can get a lot of German Bundesliga top tier players that you can put into a team. Klostermann's always good. He has to go into cheap beasts. Next on the list is Schlotterbeck. Once again, a very good card. I think for me, though, he goes top tier. I don't think he goes into meta. I think he goes top tier. Very good pace, very good defending, very good physical. I think he's on the border of top tier and meta. Once again, Bundesliga, Germany, very good links. Dortmund's got some nice players in there as well. But for me, yeah, I'd probably put him top tier. He's got slide tackle plus, which is a very good option. Also, however, another left-footed centre-back, I believe. Yeah, I just had to check that, and I was correct. So he's actually probably one of the top tier left-footed centre-back options. So maybe that would kind of push him in meta if you guys do like the balance of the left foot, right foot. But yeah, top tier centre-back for sure in this game. Schlotterbeck has to be at least top tier, maybe bordering on the meta. Next on the list, we have a difficult one again. It is Konate and Tomori. I mean, is he meta? I don't know if I'd put him in that meta category alongside Militao, Bremer, Kounde, Marquinhos and Saliba. Them guys are obviously very elite. They are top of the top. I think he's going to be definitely top of the top tier list. Like if I was to actually organise it and say the one on the left being the best, let's just chuck him in there now. That's not what I've done. But Tomori for me is literally so close to edging to meta. 84 pace, 85 defending, 80 physical, English, Serie A, very good to obviously make hybrid teams. If you have a Premier League team and you want to get some Serie A in there, English link for Tomori is really good. Obviously a very good centre-back. He's got block plus. I think that's block plus, I believe. So he's got a playstyle plus as well. But yeah, I feel like maybe with a few special cards, if he gets a couple of informs or any special cards, that will definitely push him into that meta. But I don't know if he's in there for me as of yet to go alongside them people at the top. But he's definitely on the border, nearly pushing into meta for me. He's going to be very good at the start of the game. Definitely quite expensive as well. He'll probably be one of the higher priced top tier centre-backs on this list. Next up, we've got another overrated centre-back in Mapi Leon. Once again, it's quite hard in terms of these cards. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not the worst ones. And obviously, he's got some very good links. But I feel like physicality-wise, Mapi Leon is lacking for a centre-back. Especially, like I said, we don't really know what the actual gameplay meta is going to be. If it involves heading, if it involves strength, etc. It's definitely going to be hard to use her at centre-back. Like I said, though, I don't know. She doesn't go in top tier for me. She definitely doesn't go meta. Obviously, I don't think she'll be in cheap beast because of her rating and people wanting fodder for SVCs, etc. But yeah, for me, it's overrated. She's probably at the top. Once again, I could move her along to the left. She could be at the top of overrated. You could push her onto a different category. But yeah, she's definitely not top tier or meta for me. But she does have some good links in the likes of Puteas, Bon Mati, you know, Hansen, etc. Next on the list, we have another cheap beast, and it is Mr. Joe Gomez. Always a very good centre-back at the start of the game. I mean, you've got to also keep in mind, some of these guys might not actually be cheap at the start of the game, depending on Evos as well. We could get a really good centre-back Evo that some of these could fit in, that could make them insane. They could be top tier, they could be meta. But going off the base card for me, cheap beast is the category I put Joe Gomez in. I nearly say Go Gomez. Silly me. Anyways, yeah, cheap beast for me, Joe Gomez, really, really good card. He's going to be in a lot of people's starter teams, again, like in the Premier League starter teams. I mean, English, Liverpool, Premier League, 82 pace, 80 defending, 79 physical, a really solid card. You could argue for him to be in the top tier, but for me, I think he just is below it because of his rating and his other stats. So yeah, he's once again on the border, cheap beast, top tier. He's going to be a very good option if you want a cheap or cheaper centre back. That's going to be very good. Joe Gomez is definitely an option for you at the start of FC 25. Next one on the list, we actually have another cheap beast, and he actually doesn't default at centre back, but you can play him at centre back. And it's Emre Can. This guy is so versatile. At the start of every year, this guy can play in so many different positions. But yeah, you can actually play him and start him in a centre back role. 77 pace, 82 defending, 86 physical. I mean, he's also got 74 passing and 76 dribbling, which is solid for a centre-back. A good option. I mean, I would probably choose other centre-backs over him, but I mean, because of the links you can get as well, you've got German, Bundesliga, Dortmund again. Really, really solid option. I mean, put him alongside Schlotterbeck, you've got a perfect link as well. You've got a left-footed centre-back, a right-footed centre-back as well. Together, yeah, I mean, definitely in the cheap beast. He has to be in cheap beast for me, 100%. He's going to be a very good option. So yeah, that's a sneaky one that you guys could use in your teams at the start of the game. Next up, we have an absolute meta player, Rudiger, with another upgrade this year. He's got Bruiser Plus as well, 82 pace, 86 defending, 86 physical. In-game, he's an absolute monster. He's going to be an absolute monster. Once again, you can partner him with any Madrid player. German players as well. That's players, you know, you can now use, obviously, the Bundesliga players to link off with him as well. And obviously, you've got the likes of Militao to link with him at the back. Mendy, again, definite meta. I don't need to talk too much about Rudiger. I'm sure you guys know he is definitely going to be a meta centre-back in FC 25. Next on the list, this is, once again, one of the top two centre-backs. He's probably going to be the best one again. It is Van Dijk. We don't need to talk. Once again, we don't need to talk about him. He is 100% meta centre-back. He's going to be one of the best centre-backs in the game. 78 pace, 89 defending, 86 physical. It's Van Dijk. You literally know already how good he's going to be. We don't even need to play the game to know how good Van Dijk and how meta he's going to be in the game. Next on the list, we have another overrated one, and it is going to be Paredes. Once again, quite high rating, lacking a bit on pace in terms of Mapi Leon, but rating wise, I just think it's going to be one of them people again that you might pack, you see high rating. I would probably avoid. Once again, physicality wise, she isn't going to be the best. Got good defending and physical stats though, but actually in game, not the best. Once again though, some good links. Barcelona, Spanish, you can't go wrong. It's not the worst, don't get me wrong. Some of these overrated cards doesn't mean they're not going to be that good. They're just not on the same levels as some of these other players, even in the cheap beast for me, but definitely not on the same levels as top tier and meta. And we actually have another overrated to add to the list. 86 Gabriel, 69 pace, avoid for me, just a bit too slow. I mean, definitely too slow for me. A good defending and physical, but just on that slower side of the scale. A lot of the cheap, I mean, I'd actually probably take all the cheap beasts over him in my team at the start of the game. He might be all right. You can get away with slower players at the start of the game, usually, but for me, you're better off getting a cheaper beast or anyone above the cheaper beast to put in at centre-back. Next one up, we've definitely got another cheap beast, Ibanyez, 85 pace. One of the more pacier centre-backs at the start of this game. So yeah, 85 pace, 81 defending and 82 physical. Very solid. Actually an option in the Saudi league as well. So if you guys want to use some of the Saudi players, obviously the likes of Ronaldo, you've got Mahrez, you've got Ivan Toney in there this year. You've got a lot of players and also Brazilians. So you can actually fit him in teams. You know, you can get a hybrid, you can fit him in a hybrid because of his nation. So works out really nicely and should definitely be a very good option. I think a lot of people once again will be using him at the start of the game in their starter teams because that is a really good card to have. And like I said, the stats work out perfectly for the start of the game. Another cheap beast, we've got a new Premier League centre-back in Todibo. 81 pace, 80 defending, 78 physical. France, Premier League, you can't go wrong. Cheap beast, 100%. Once again, another card that I expect to see a lot because a lot of people, like I said earlier, do go with Premier League teams to start off. So yeah, Todibo's got to be in cheap beast for sure. There's so many good links to him. He's got really good pace, and yeah, I think he'll be used a lot in the first couple of months of this game. Next up, we've got Jonathan Tah, and for me, I'd probably go overrated again. Once again, lacking pace-wise. I mean, you might just about get away with his pace actually being 71. It's not the slowest, but it's also not very fast. He's got good defending and physical again. But for me, yeah, he's a bit overrated. Obviously, rating-wise doesn't result in being better in game. And for me, it's one of the ones that I'd probably avoid again. There's so many better centre-backs than him. Don't just go for him because of his rating. Next on the list, we've got one of the most meta centre-backs, or most used centre-backs, I think, at the start of last year. That's Araujo. I think he also has been downgraded though. I think he was 86. I had to double check. He was 86 last year, but he's actually had a pace increase. Only a -1 in defending, same physical, which are the main stats for a centre-back. So overall, he's still going to be absolutely meta. Barcelona, again, really good links. La Liga, really good links. Uruguay, not as easy to link, but I mean, yeah, this guy's going to be incredible. He was so good at the start of last year. He'll be so good at the start of this year. It's a very good option to have as a centre-back. Then our final player, we have got Mr. Van de Ven. He's 100% at least in top tier. I think if he was a bit higher rated with a bit better stats, you could get him into meta. I mean, 88 pace for a centre-back is ridiculous. Just like Lacroix, but better. He's basically the better version of Lacroix. I mean, also, I believe he might be left-footed. I need to start doing my research because yeah, he is left-footed. I mean, but like I was saying, 88 pace, 83 defending, 81 physical. He is going to be used so much at the start of the game. I think he'll be between 50 to 100,000 coins. However, though, I think he'll be in that range just because of that pace. Obviously, being Dutch in the Premier League, Spurs, really, really good chemistry. You can link him so easily. That is what I'd say he will be, and yeah, at least top tier for me. He has to be. He's going to be very, very good. I think he'll be used a lot for the people that manage to, you know, open a few packs, spend a few FIFA points. You'll be able to get him easily in your team, and he's going to be probably a rock at the back at the start of this game. There we have it. There are the 30 defenders in the tier list. I want you guys to let me know in the comments below what you think of my tier list. Do you agree with it? Who would you switch around? Do you agree with the overrated? Is there any of the overrated you put into a different section? Obviously, would you move any of these? Let me know in the comments below. And also let me know if I missed any defenders. Is there any defenders that you want to put in this list? I just picked out 30 defenders that I could see that are looking good. Some of them might be overrated. Like I said, we had the overrated section. So let me know in the comments if you think I missed any centre-backs. And don't forget to guess who that centre-back was earlier. I want to know if you guys can get it. Let me know in the comments below. But yeah, guys, anyways, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you did enjoy the video. And I hope to see you guys next time. Goodbye.